Welcome to Reddit Reads, r/ProRevenge. Our first Reddit post is from PMMESHREKBOOBS. Want to threaten to kill me, then go be creepy with little girls, have fun dealing with the FBI. Edit originally posted to her confession, but was told that it would fit here as well. After I broke up with my ex, I would keep tabs on him. Rumors, hearsay, friendly whispers, and public social media posts alike due to the threat of violence. He'd occasionally post something about burning down my house, or he'd text a mutual friend and try to figure out where I had moved to, so I felt justified. And we live in a very small town, so gossip flowed like honey. In reality, I was assuaging my anxiety by exerting what little control I could in that particular area in my life. Everything ended up documented for legal reasons to give it more legitimacy. At the time, friendly custody talks had broken down into we need attorneys to mediate, and due to the fact that I wouldn't release my daughter into his care without a custody agreement, I started to receive threats from both him and his family. One specific threat that still sticks with me was to burn down my apartment building, prompting me to move. My social worker/court-appointed attorney never received the requested documents for custody. After a while, it went from "so-and-so is threatening you online" to "did you hear that so-and-so got kicked out of where he was staying for trying to sleep with his roommate's 12-year-old cousin? So-and-so isn't allowed near this person's 14-year-old daughter anymore because they caught him texting her nudes." I heard about 3 different young girls who had possibly been victimized by this dude, which was believable. He had pursued me when I was 19 and he was 26, and I look very young for my age. We broke up in part due to him being arrested for minor sexual crimes. All of these girls were coming from slightly trashy families with run-ins with the law, so I reported him and all of the online handles I knew he used to the motherfuckering FBI. Straight up went to the Center of Missing and Exploited Children on his ass. Not 2 months later, I get a message from someone saying, "Did you hear that so-and-so got arrested in a sting? He had been trying to sleep with this 12-year-old girl offline, and when he went to meet up with her, it ended up being set up with the state police or something. He caught extra charges thanks to the whips and handcuffs he had in his backpack. Now he's in jail and a registered sex offender. If he had just not threatened me, I never would have paid attention to gossip concerning him, and he probably would have gotten away with his shit for years." This comment is from Joe Bob Whitney 2018. Damn, you think you know a guy, a good fucking job op. One less shitbug on the streets. This comment is from Newgemer. He had been trying to sleep with this 12-year-old girl offline, and when he went to meet up with her, it ended up being set up with the state police or something. He caught extra charges thanks to the whips and handcuffs he had in his backpack. Chris Hansen, enter the room. Just have a seat right over there. What are your plans tonight? TL Drive. Glad this piece of shit got what was coming to him. This comment is from Mervicharoy. Another one bites the fucking dust. Our next Reddit post is from Apsariculio. How I ended up with my boss's job. I was working for an advertising agency, a pretty big one. I had an unethical manager. Well, when I started out, I had a manager who was one of the most unethical managers I've ever dealt with. He'd order his sales reps to do things that would increase his bonuses, which are based on margins. Example, say a client decided to buy product XYZ and their spend was $2,000 a month. He would want the agent to put up products ABC and keep the spend at $2,000, even though the client didn't agree to that. Fact is, the clients generally wouldn't notice, but if they did, it could cost you your job. I was the guy that refused his demands. He would tell me to cheat the client and I would refuse. He would get mad. I wouldn't care. This went on for quite a while. Now, there is something I don't tell people very often. I live in a one-party consent state, which means so long as I'm aware a conversation is being recorded, I can record it without informing the other party. I had just upsold my largest client, making him even larger. But I didn't sell the products my boss wanted me to sell. He demanded I switch things around. I refused. I told him I sold the client XYZ, that's what we agreed to, and not going change that without the customer permission. His exact words were, "Fuck the customer, this is your largest client, I need him on ABC or I'm not going make my number. I'm sorry, but you and I both know ABC isn't right for this client and that's why he didn't buy it. You're fired. If you can't follow instructions, you're fired." After confirming he was dead serious, I said, "If you do that, I'll have your job by the end of the month." I went home. I didn't think he'd go through with it. Sure as shit, next morning I'm locked out of all our systems. I call tech support and get told I've been fired. So who do I call? I call our regional vice president and tell him I have several recordings I think he should listen to. Remember, my boss ordering me to do unethical things wasn't uncommon. So I meet up with my RVP and play 6 different recordings that I had saved showing my manager was pushing his agents to break the law, to which my RVP leaned back in his chair and let out a sigh knowing he had to fire my manager. Having a sales manager that is forcing his reps to break the law is just bad business. At which point I asked for my job back. He agreed that I would get my job back and asked me to take the week off and call him on Monday. He told me he'd talk to payroll and make sure I got paid for this week as well. FYI, he fulfilled all of his promises with me, although I missed a payday but got back pay later, so I was fine with that. That Monday, I come into our Monday morning meeting in which my RVP was there. He informed the entire team that my boss had been fired and why. He also mentioned that if anyone wanted to apply for his job, there was now an opening. So I applied for, and after 3 rounds of interview got my promotion. Sure as shit I was right. I did have my boss's job by the end of the month. It was glorious the first day walking into his office and sitting in his nice big comfy chair. This comment is from Owasawa. Hijacking the top comment, if I were in a position like op, this is the exact scenario I would hope to have happen. It's an added bonus that he told his boss he was going to take his job, and then he took it. Just flawless. Edit, look ma, I made it big in the world. This comment is from Kata25. I'm always amazed when people who do shady shit don't know what the recording laws are in their state. One-party consent laws will get you every time. This comment is from Winterstorm. Document, document, document. Now, a word from today's sponsor. Surfshark is an all-around VPN solution that can do everything from torrenting as well as streaming to browsing the dark web. Surfshark is one of the very best all-round VPN, terrific for Netflix, torrenting, confidential browsing, as well as staying safe on public Wi-Fi. Check out Surfshark today, link is in the description. Now back to the video. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. Neighbor is an asshole, so I caused a potentially catastrophic rift in his marriage. So this happened a couple weeks ago, but I saw the result of it earlier today. A bit of backstory: I live in a predominantly Mormon area and I am not Mormon. I receive quite a bit of criticism from my across-the-street neighbor because of the religious difference. I'm assuming we've never interacted before has started fucking with me. He currently has 10 children. About a month ago on trash day, he told one of his kids to kick my trash can over into the street. The kid did it, and I witnessed everything. This is not the first time he has kicked my trash over, and I figured it was a lost. That same day, I was reminded by a friend about how I used to have a pen pal when I was younger before I moved. Later that night, I was browsing the web looking for a pen pal when I stumbled across a cool-sounding site, priceandpelpals.com. I visited the site and, after clicking through a few dodgy links, was brought to an array of different prisoners who were looking for a pen pal. After doing a bit of browsing from there, I stumbled across a fellow who was on death row for first-degree murder. Feeling bad for this guy, but not wanting to give my address out, you send an email The guards print it out and give it to the prisoner, who then write you a letter and delivers it to your physical address. I remembered the asshole across the street. More out of curiosity than malice, I proceeded to write a very detailed letter about how I am a trapped, secretly gay Mormon man with 10 kids who is looking to start an extramarital affair with a prisoner. I put in his address and send. I had my hilarious petty satisfaction. I expected nothing to come out of this. Although he would be going through his mail, see the letter, not open it, toss it, and think nothing of it after that. But boy, was I wrong. Of course, with it being a small town, this guy does run a small business here, where one of my acquaintances works. I went in just earlier today and chatted with my acquaintance before he told me, "Oh my God, did you hear about neighbor?" I said no because I hadn't, and he filled me in on all of the details. Apparently one of the neighbor's kids had brought in the mail only for his wife to find it and read the letter from this prisoner responding to the joke letter that I wrote. I don't know the specifics of the letter, but I do know that his wife threw a fucking fit when he arrived home and made him pack his bags. My acquaintance informed me that this was not the first time neighbor had started or tried to start an affair with another man, and apparently this was the last straw for her. I am still shocked, horrified, and extremely amused by this predicament. TL Drive, I sent a prisoner looking for a pen pal a letter under my neighbor's first name and address. When the letter came back, his wife found it and accused him of cheating on her with a man, as he had apparently done before, and kicked him out. Edit grammar, clarity. Apparently this post is going down and back up randomly. I posted the same thing to Kritifu in post history, and several people have screenshot the story, so it's relatively easy to find if it appears to be down. Edit 2, I've seen some comments saying this guy didn't deserve it just by kicking over a trash can, so here are some more details. I'm the guardian of my younger sister. I got her a cat about a year ago, and the neighbor told me that the cat is not allowed on his side of the road. Okay, whatever. A couple days later, the guy called animal control on the cat because it was wandering on the sidewalk in front of his house. They said they can't do anything since it was on his property. So neighbor takes the cat and drops it off at the animal shelter, pretending it's his, and tells them to put it down. They refuse without the papers and shiz chip. It's a whole situation. On the day they moved in, my little sister made them brownies and took them over, knocked on the door, and waited. They didn't answer. So little sister wanders back across the road and, when she gets to our front porch, looks back to watch the father look her dead in the eyes as he's throwing the treats, plate and all, into the garbage. Other petty bullshit acts besides these, etc. This comment is from Kipsaro. Jedediah, go kick that man's trash over. What the hell? This comment is from Manix58. 10 kids, that guy lives in a prison already. This comment is from Thesipsums. That poor first-degree murderer. He won't get a reply from his nice friend, the gay Mormon man. That was Reddit reads r/ProRevenge. If you like this content, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified of new uploads. We upload new videos every day. Also subscribe to our Patreon, as that will help us a lot. See you next time.